Welcome back to Talkin Shop with ShopSabre. I'm Brandon, back with the whole group here. I got Chad, Travis. Hey, Travis, you're over there. How you doing?
What up?
And Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
Pretty swell.
Yeah, you guys excited about today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we been really busy lately.
Super busy.
Things are crazy right now.
Best time of the year?
I love this time of year, yeah, for sure. It's been a good time, but we got to get away from it for a little bit on Sunday, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. It was a great time.
Happy birthday to you, Chad.
Travis's first football game.
Yeah, yay sports. My name is Travis. Yay sports.
You like that? You like that?
We won, so that was cool. Travis, what'd you think of your first sporting event?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, yay sports, like you said.
Yay.
It actually turned me back into wanting to watch football again. When I was
Really?
younger, I watched it with my dad all the time, only because he basically forced me. If you're gonna watch football, it's on Sunday. The TV's being used for football. So, but yeah, once you go to a game like that, first row, seeing everything, cheerleaders, the whole thing, it was a good time.
I love how he threw the cheerleaders. Like, first row, cheerleaders. Yeah, that's awesome. No, we had a good time. It was a really good time. We're in the front row. We had all of us down there. Good time. And yeah, except we got to celebrate your birthday, Chad. So hopefully
W.
hopefully it's one of those birthdays that you're like, hey, that was a fun birthday. So
It was. A great time.
got the W.
Got the W.
My favorite was the security guard lady who told us we were finished. We're done. You're never going to get back in the stadium.
We got back in.
Yeah, we had a little incident where everything's digital tickets now. So you scan your ticket and you go in the stadium. Well, problem is David scanned his ticket ahead of time. Then he went in and then realized, oh, I have all the tickets on me. Like nobody else can get in without this ticket. So he walked back out with his tickets so we could all get into the game. And when he walked out, this security lady starts screaming at him, "You're done. You're finished. You're not getting back in." And I was like, whoa, 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 settle down. Like she got really upset at David. And I like walked up to her and I was like, well, we're just going to walk up there and she's like, nobody's going to let you in. It's not going to happen. I'm like, I'm one of those guys that believes, don't say never. Like, there's always a way in. So then David's all flustered because he feels like he messed everything up, So I'm like, David, we still got 6 good tickets. If anything, we need to buy 1 more ticket. He's like, yeah, but then we won't be able to sit together. I'm like, David, nobody's going to sit in our seats. Like, I'll just buy the cheapest ticket in the whole place and I'll walk down to our seats if I have to. Like, we'll figure this out. I'm like, but just let's go find somebody to talk to him. We get up there. And at this point, you can tell he's frazzled. He's a little frazzled about it. So we get up there and we find the guy, right? We walk up to him and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, who's the ticket's names under? And then David's like, my name. And then the guy looked it up and he's like, this happens all the time. He finds it. He scans us, 5 minutes, guys?
Yeah, it wasn't long
It was
at all.
quick.
Yeah, 5 minutes. He scans all of our tickets. He's like, all right, you guys are good to go. Go inside. Let's everybody back in, right? We're all in. The best part about the whole situation, we get down to our seats. It's awesome. The lady who yelled at David and told him he was finished was the security lady in our section. Like, what is the chances of that? She's sitting 3 seats away from David after David sits down. And David just looks right at her and goes, well, I got back in. I was like, oh, that was too priceless. Like, that was good.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so we weren't finished. We got through.
What a game.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But I know last week we talked a little bit about warranty and support. And this week I thought we'd talk a little bit about pricing and structure. Because every business has to deal with that, right?
Absolutely.
You guys have to deal with pricing and structure here?
Not me personally.
You don't have to deal with pricing ever?
Well, I mean, I have to deal with pricing that's given to me. That's right. But I don't structure the pricing.
True. That's
You
my
haven't
job.
given me that
I
yet.
haven't given you that unlock code yet.
But everyone will get a free tool changer.
Free tool changer.
Free tool changer Friday's coming back.
Oh, I like it.
Boss is out of the office. Let's go.
The boss is gone sales.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you said you pulled it once.
Remember that? I was going to say, weren't you there when I did it? The old JB decided to take a vacation. He's never taken a vacation since, and I don't understand why. But,
do.
yeah, I did an old boss is out of town sale, and it worked really well. He wasn't as impressed. But, yeah, we made some sales that month. Yeah, so like I said, I just thought we'd talk a little bit about pricing and structure. I wanted to take some time because, honestly, like, the art of the deal is something that I always think about, right? How things in today's world have changed so much and how people react and act towards salespeople, pricing, all that stuff in general. I feel like it's worth a discussion because I think a lot of business owners out there are probably dealing with it themselves. And they're probably thinking right now that they're alone. There's a lot of people that are business owners that they get a customer that's a little bit unruly And it can sometimes make you feel like you're doing something wrong as a business owner, right? It makes you question things because you have somebody who's so loud and obnoxious about their opinion that it turns into a situation where it does. It makes you sometimes question yourself. And I think some business owners just need to be reminded that you're not alone. You know, a lot of people in business deal with this, but, you know, really I want to start off with you guys because I have my opinion of it. But what comes to mind for you guys when you think about, you know, all this stuff that I just mentioned, you know, with the, you know, reactions people have towards sales and towards salespeople and the pricing and all that stuff? Like, what comes to mind for you, Chad?
I think that sometimes sales guys get a bad rep. Like you're trying to, like they always just assume you're trying to oversell them or sell them something that they don't need, you know,
Yeah.
versus just listening to what, you know, I have to say or some sales guys have to say.
Yeah, I think that's the difference of times. Like, I feel like, and this is just my own opinion, but I feel like older generations,
The used car salesman.
yeah, they like to throw out the used car salesman thing because they came from a generation where, like, that was a thing. Used car salesmen actually haggled on price and actually did try to take advantage of you. I mean, that was kind of like a known thing, right? Back in the 70s and 80s, right? But like our generation, we've grown up in a time where like sales are completely different now, right? I mean, a lot of stuff that we do is online. And so when you get a salesman, it's kind of refreshing, right? You have somebody actually just knowledgeable about the product, right? You can actually ask the questions you don't know. And we've grown up in a time where we just have to learn everything on our own online. Like we just kind of self-teach ourselves.
And then you buy it and regret it later.
Correct. Exactly. And you find out you're not as intelligent as you thought you were, unfortunately, later. But it's nice sometimes when you find that salesman who knows something that's knowledgeable and takes care of you. So I think we're a little less skeptical of that salesman. You know, we're willing to trust him a little bit more. But I agree with you. Like there are some, you know, it's that everybody's taking advantage of me, you know, attitude. But I feel like it comes from an older generation, you know, in my opinion. I guess I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
That's my opinion too. It's
Yeah.
The older generation, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, again, rightfully so. They grew up in a time where that's what was happening,
Well, yeah,
right?
and if it happened to you, you're going to be.
Correct. You are kind of, you know, built to believe that because it's one of those things where, you know, when it's happened to you a lot, you know, it kind of becomes instilled in you that, you know, it's the old Pavlov, right? They say that, you know, if you know, ring the bell and the dog comes for the treat, but eventually, you know, if you ring the bell and there's no treat, they still come because they think they're getting the treat, you know, like it's that same thing. Is it, you know, they're so used to that from the way the world used to be. But I think things have changed so much that in our world, we just don't understand it, right? Why are they assuming I'm taking advantage of? Well, we didn't live in that time, right? We know what we're trying to do and we know that we're trying to help. And we're not, you know, the commission-driven sales guys like they are back in the 80s.
And I think the internet helps with that some too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can easily see prices across a wide variety of areas to make sure you're getting what the value is of what you're buying.
There's more transparency nowadays. Yeah, like you said, before you go to the dealership, you talk to the guy. You don't know what anybody else is charging. There's no way unless you literally go talk to another guy and go to another guy. Like you couldn't just go online and look up Kelly Blue Book, right?
Yep.
Now you have the option to go do that, and instantly you know what are things going for. Am I paying too much, not paying enough, or is that really underpriced? You know, and I think sometimes that's missed. You know, that in my opinion. But Travis, what's your thoughts on that topic? Obviously, we're kind of getting off on a tangent here, me and Chad, but
No, I feel the same way. I mean, I talk to a lot of customers that they're on the defense. They feel like they have to fight me right away. They don't want to trust me. They want to. But
Well,
again, it comes to the age of the person. You know, I can usually tell if I'm talking to an older person or a younger person, and the younger people really want to know more about the product. They feel like they can trust me, but you talk to some of the people that are from the older generations, and they always feel like I'm holding out on them. I have this huge discount I can give them, and they'll push on it, and I just keep telling them, like, I'm always going to give you the best price up front.
Shut up a minute.
jeez, that got long-winded. No, no, I agree with you. I think, you know, I think there's some of that, you know, that again, it's generational differences. You know, I think that's the biggest thing, and obviously, we want to cater to every person out there. You know, we don't have a generation we don't want to help. I think there's just that, it's that, you know, barrier of, you know, assuming you're getting taken advantage of again. I think it comes back to that, you know.
Or the next guy's getting a better deal and you got hosed.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Kyle, you're younger than all of us. Obviously, you're from a younger generation. What's your opinion on this? Like, what do you think about in today's world with sales and salespeople and pricing and all that stuff in general?
Yeah, so I feel like consumers today, they have a lot more in terms of research tools at their disposal to really see what kind of deals they're getting, see if they're getting swindled, especially with Black Friday kind of, you know, behind us. We see that a lot of people realize that they're getting swindled. They're getting, you know, these prices that are inflated, and then they see these costs that are cut, and it's just kind of ridiculous. They're getting charged the same amount that they might have been, you know, getting charged before Black Friday.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, when it comes from my generation, I think we tend to be more informed on the kind of deals that we're getting. So we go into these kind of purchases honestly. You know, if I'm talking to a salesperson on a big purchase, I'm going to be pretty informed about the product that I'm getting. I want to be informed, and I know I'm not going to really get a crazy deal just from negotiating. I don't feel like negotiating these days is really something that kind of flies, especially in America.
Yeah, I think for me, you know, I just don't have the time to negotiate nowadays. Like we do things. I mean, think about it. You used to Sunday was family day. Nobody did anything on Sunday, right? It was family day, and now Sunday is just another working day. It's another day, you know. And so I feel like the world's been moving faster. Everybody's trying to get things accomplished, you know, and expectations are higher, right? What used to be okay to take time isn't okay anymore. People want things. They demand things now. I mean, we get calls from people that they call us up, they talk to us, and then within an hour, you know, they're calling you back asking where that quote is, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, sometimes it takes, you know, obviously we hang up the phone and we literally get another phone call and it takes us 45 minutes to get off the next call, so we haven't gotten to that quote yet, you know? And it's not that we didn't want to take care of you, but it's just there's so much going on this time of year. And I think we got to a time where people expect everything right away, right? And so I think to Kyle's point, like you said, there's a lot of research tools out there and there's a lot of things that you can do. But, you know, I think that makes the industries have to be a little bit more honest too, because it's so easy to spot, you know, an impersonator, right? I mean, you're going to see when somebody's way off, you know, and, you know, for us, I think that's the advantage ShopSabre really brings to the table is that we have real people, right? We're not forcing you to buy online and figure it out on your own. Like we have real people that will help you and we'll go through it. But as to your point, Chad and Travis, is sometimes it's met with a little bit of aggression initially because they think instantly, if we can get past that, we're okay. But it's like that initial, like, oh, they're just trying to take advantage of me. That's why they want to know what my budget is, or that's why they want to know what I'm doing. No, like I don't want to spend more money than we have to. Like I want to make sure we set you up for success, but I need to know what success is to you. You know, like what does that look like to you? And you know, I think about year-end sales because that's a current event, right? I mean, I think about the holiday season and how consumers are out in full force looking for the deals right now, right? As Kyle alluded to, the Black Friday stuff. There's a reason why ShopSabre doesn't do Black Friday specials. Like, there's still only one low price. And so I'm a consumer that I want to buy the low price all the time. I don't want to have this situation where you're just slashing your prices for a day. Like, that means you're taking advantage of me 364 days of the year, right?
Right.
Like, to me, it doesn't feel right. And, you know, but we need to remember that pricing all year long still has some value, right? I mean, while demand goes up this time of year for a lot of things, the best deals are because of demand, right? I mean, a lot of people, there's advantages to you buying something right now. It's not we want to make less money as a company. That's not an advantage to us. Companies know you're shopping. The purpose of a deal is to lower the deal time, is it not? It's the whole purpose of why you give a sale to somebody isn't so you spend the same amount of time, the same amount of resources with that customer. No, the purpose of the deal is to take the labor out of it, right? Lower the labor, I can afford to now sell something a little bit cheaper maybe, right? Or, you know, in certain cases, it's to remove the stress from the deal, right? We don't want you to feel like you have to call a million times to haggle and get the best deal, right? There's a lot of products that you look at and you're like, well, if I ask them for a discount, they're going to give me a discount, but then I got to go back and ask for another one, and nobody has time for that. I mean, your guys' opinion on that? I mean, where do you stand on that, Chad? What do you think? Like, Chad, Travis, I mean, either one of you guys, I mean, if you got any opinions on this, but even Kyle, I mean, do you guys have the time to like haggle and go back and forth when you buy a product? Like, is it something you like to do, I guess?
I don't like to haggle, but I do. I guess like when I just bought the new furniture, you know, I saw that they had 30% off, saw they had 0%, and it's like I need to do it. So why would I not do it today versus in a month when I have more time to do it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously right now is a busy time for you guys, but like you said, there was a reason, but it was also a quicker decision for you, is it not?
Oh yeah, did it all in that same day.
So you got it. You got all your furniture and everything because there was a deal. Mm-hmm. So it worked, right? It worked for the sales company. Like they did it to lower that decision process, right? You didn't go back and forth and check it out 27 times. You just knew that like the deal is as good as it's going to get. And if I need this couch, I need this couch.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I look at it as same for me. Like when I buy certain things, there's certain times of years like I'll just buy the product because waiting costs me more money, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to wait for the next Black Friday special, right? Well, me not being able to do my job the rest of the year, it's costing me money, or me having to pay somebody else to do it isn't saving money at that point. So any money I save on Black Friday, I've just spent all year long. There's times when it doesn't make sense, right? But if I'm going to be buying something and I know I need it and there's a deal on it, it just makes that decision that much easier.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's where I'm at. Like, I'm one of those guys that like, I'm not going to put off something simply because I think I might get a better deal in 90 days. If I need it now, I'm going to do it. But if I see a deal happening and I know that I'm going to need it in the future, I'm more likely to make a purchase ahead of time. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened with me.
Yeah.
I didn't need it till January, but they had the deal, so I went in, did it. Don't have them delivering it till January 8th.
So yeah, you had them delay the delivery.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's smart. We do that with CNC machines, do we not?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
and I kind of did the same thing with the furniture thing. I went and bought brand new furniture last year. I knew what I was going to want to spend. I knew exactly what I wanted. I wasn't going to do what they call window shopping. I was going in. I was just going to buy what I wanted.
Yep.
They had exactly what I wanted. It was more money than I wanted to pay, but they already had their President's Day sale or whatever. So it made it a little more of an incentive for me. And same thing. I walked in. I mean, it took me about 2 hours. I didn't want to drop, the amount of money I did on the furniture without knowing I was going to love it.
Right.
But at the same time, all I did is I left, went into my vehicle, talked to my wife about it, so at least we could have our own privacy, came back in, wrote the check. I mean, it was just a done deal. And same thing with Chad. I didn't need it that day, so I had him deliver it, 2-3 weeks later, and that was that.
it works out. Like I said, let's talk about pricing for a moment. Pricing is typically comprised of a cost of doing business, is it not?
Yep.
I mean, that's how prices are typically come up with. And the product itself has a cost, whether you're buying it or manufacturing it. And the services that you're offering comes with that. You're buying the product and the service most cases. So there's generally some sort of a markup involved for the profitability of the company. Because let's be honest, every business out there has to be profitable or probably not going to be around next year, right? So as you look at these sales prices, you have to remember, there is profit in everything that you're buying and everything you're doing. That profit is to pay for something. Is it the service you're getting? Is it, what is it that you're paying for? The warranty? There's something there that you're investing in. Now, if you're finding that, your customers are asking you for these massive discounts right now, like, you have to be smart about it. Just because they want a discount doesn't mean they get a discount, right? There are certain things that, business owners, they struggle with this right now. Like, well, my client said if I don't give them this, they're not going to do business with me. You have to determine at some point, is that okay? Right? As a business owner, slashing the prices on your cabinets simply because somebody told you have to do it. Like, if another business is willing to do that, don't automatically say you're going to do it too without knowing where your profitability is at. Right. Because your cabinets might cost you more than that guy. Right? If you're doing it the old school way, you're cutting things with a sliding table saw or something, compared to a guy cutting with a CNC router, your costs to build that cabinet are probably more than the guy with the CNC router. His labor's less. He can build a cabinet in 6 minutes. Yep. You can't. So to match his price, he's trying to run your prices out, right? He's trying to run you out of business. He doesn't want you to be there in a year. So you have to be smart on that. There's a lot of companies that will do that. They'll drive the price as low as they can, knowing that their margin is a lot higher because either they have a cheaper product or they have a streamlined process. Well, it's a perfect thing with us, like CNC machines. You can go buy a machine in China for $3,000. You get what you pay for. A $3,000 router is going to last 3 to 6 months. I'm not going to compete with those prices. I don't want to, because Chinese machines are not going to be there to support you in 5 years.
Right.
So when I factor in my prices, my cost has to factor in that as well. So yeah, you are going to pay more, for an American-made machine than you will maybe some of these import products. It shouldn't be different in your business. As a sign maker, as a cabinet maker, you need to think about your pricing structure and how it fits your business and what you're offering your customers. And therefore, prices are usually based on a number of factors that need to be considered. And sometimes the reality is the customer's not going to look at those prices, right? They're not looking at the other things. They just look at what they're paying. And that means you have to develop value, right? Unless you're buying a cookie cutter product like an iPhone, right? Which has an MSRP pricing set. Each company you look at is probably going to have a different product price, right? Yep. I mean, no two cabinet companies are probably going to give you the same bid. That's what I always remind people. If you go get bids on a new cabinet. I mean, Chad, you can speak from experience, right? You just did all this. Like, I'm probably speaking like to the choir here. Like, you just remodeled your house, and I'm sure you went out and got bids on several different things. Did you not?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to use it as an example here. When you got those bids, did everybody's quote come out to be exactly the same?
To the penny.
To the penny. Thanks for trying.
No, they were all different.
Yeah, everything that you did came with an additional explanation too, did it not?
Yep, absolutely. That's right.
So you had to understand what you're getting for your money.
Yep.
Not everybody sold you the same carpet, right? You had different padding and you had different quality and all of that came with different prices, right?
Correct.
But it's all carpet.
It's all carpet.
It's no different than your product, right? Yeah. Well, they're selling me cabinets too for my house. Does that make it the same quality cabinets? Does that make it the same quality signs? No. It's all different. Like there's something that, if it's cheaper, there's something different, right? There's
Absolutely.
something that you're not getting the same, or there's a reason for it. And sometimes, yeah, you may have just found a really good deal, right? But usually if there's an industry standard, right? Everybody's right around $20,000 for this job. And this one guy comes in at $10,000. Is that not a red flag?
It's a big red flag.
Big time.
Because if it was $10,000, everybody would be doing it, right?
Absolutely.
No, one company might charge a lot more money, right? You might find one that's absorbent, in their cost. Like, hey, this guy's $20,000 and everybody else is between $10,000 and $13,000. That guy's probably gouging you, right?
Probably didn't want to do the job.
Or didn't want to do the job, right? There's a reason he bid you so high.
Yep.
But if everybody's at 20 and one guy's at 10, are they all doing the same thing? No, they're probably all basing it off of actual costs and the materials and however they're building. The guy who's doing it for $10,000 either isn't going to get the job done right. He's going to be using poorly constructed items, and you're going to be paying to have the job done again.
Yep.
So your business as a business, the business owners listening to me here, like be careful. Like some of your competitors will drive your business down to all-time lows because they think that they're going to win in the long run. You got to be smart about your business. Nobody understands your business better than you do, right? So what they charge, because their part prices and their service that you're going to receive, the technology you receive is going to be different than maybe what you charge. Overall product value determines more by the person you're buying it from rather than the actual product itself. Does it not?
Yep.
Value is determined by the whole package.
Yep.
So as we kind of look at that, let's talk about sales and discounts for a second, right? It's most companies, when they discount, they're removing some sort of profitability, are they not?
Yeah.
I would say that's a pretty fair assessment, right? When you remove profitability, you have to consider what is the trade-off for the company, right? Are they removing profits because they're increasing efficiency? As an example, you can buy multi-product discounts, right? I'm going to buy in bulk. Well, if you buy in bulk, yeah, companies will cut profit a little bit because they can do things in mass quantity. And so typically there's some profitability removed there because there's also some overhead removed there, right? Mass production, reduced efforts, whatever that might be. Two things at one time is not necessarily bulk, right? We're talking if you buy 30, right? When you buy stuff like that, that's bulk. It's not bulk for buying 2 items. That's just you're buying 2 of them. That doesn't change the manufacturing process. But, as a company or business, you offer discounts because you can gain something yourself. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely.
Like no business out there gives you a discount just because they want to give you a discount.
Right.
They do it because, as an example, as a cabinet shop, right? You cut your price or offer a discount to win the business, are you not? Mm-hmm. That's probably why you're doing it. But you aren't going to do it to hurt your business, right?
Yeah, you're not going to go out of business to give a discount.
Right. The reason you offer a deal is because you want to remove further discussion on the topic. That's my thing, is that people need to remember that. You don't use discounts to close deals because I want to remove profit. You earn customers' respect because you want to remove the doubt. You want to move beyond the pricing discussion, right? You want to move on to the next part of your discussion, whether it be service or value or et cetera. And ultimately, you want to strike a deal so you can move on to the next deal. So as a cabinet owner, or a cabinet business owner or a sign maker out there, if you're listening to me right now and you're thinking about this, or whoever, I don't care what industry you're in, if you're giving a discount to your customer, it should be with the purpose that you want to move on to the next deal. You're trying to give them a reason to buy and not have to continue the same discussion. If I give you a deal, this is my price, right? Having to go back and have that discussion over and over about pricing after giving a discount is kind of a lost cause at that point. What was the point of the discount?
Right.
So, products traditionally have one low price. When there's only so cheap you can sell a product before it has no longer benefited the company that's selling it. People sometimes lose track of that. I see and hear people say, well, it's only $1,500 more, right? I'm only asking for $1,500. Well, that'd be great if you were paying full price. Yeah, $1,500 sounds great. But when this guy's discounted at $15,000 and you're asking for $1,500 more, no, it's not $1,500 more. It's $16,500. And at some point, that might just be pushing too close to somebody's margin or comfort zone, right? As a cabinet maker, you're putting these cabinets in the guy's house or shop or whatever. You have some level of, hey, I got to think about these cabinets long term, right? If something goes wrong, if a hinge fails, if something does happen, which our hope, we all build products with the idea that nothing's going to go wrong, right? We don't all live in the world of rainbows and unicorns, though. Things go wrong. Things happen. And if I'm going to support the product and stand behind my product, I need to factor in the unknowns in life, right? So if I have zero extra profit margin on there, it's probably a risky investment for the business, is it not?
Yep.
So let's look at ShopSabre as an example. When we sell you a product, right? I have overhead that runs the business, right? But I also have a warranty that's included with that product. So I have to support that product warranty aspect of it, right? Something fails, I have to support that. Am I not correct on that?
Absolutely.
Right. Yep.
But then I also have support in general. I have people that you can call and ask questions to. So I have a lot of unknowns. I don't know who you are, right? As a buyer, you as a buyer get to make money with this machine long term. That's the goal, at least, right? You buy something to be able to do something long term. I have to support that product for as long as you own it, and I don't get to collect more money from you. Ever. I don't get to say, hey, now your support costs you per month. Like, that doesn't happen. So I have to factor that into this equation. And so people sometimes lose track of that. I don't get to keep collecting money from you. Therefore, it's harder for me to keep discounting things because eventually I have to be careful of what I don't know or what the future might bring. I don't know how good you are. How do I know you're not going to be the biggest tech support nightmare ever, right? Like, right. I don't know you. So people need to think about that, when you're looking at it, I'm not going to compete against a Chinese machine. I'm not going to compete against their pricing. If you're looking at pricing only, you should buy a cheap product. You're going to get what you pay for. The downfall to that is don't expect good support. Right. Don't expect a product that's going to last, and expect to spend more money long term. Because that's what you should expect. Because that's why they gave you the cheap price up front, is to make it just an easy sale. They didn't factor in that they're going to have to take care of you. They don't care. Once they run out of profitability, and that's what some people kind of lose track of here. You're building a custom machine, right? Guys buy custom machines from, overseas, right? And these guys think, I'm getting the greatest thing. Swiss Army knife, right? Best machine ever. What happens when that guy eats up all of the money they made on that machine?
They're not going to answer the phone anymore.
They don't care anymore. Yeah. Go away. Like, you got your use out of this machine, right? They don't care anymore. They're not going to take care of you. And at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Tarnish their reputation? Everybody on the internet's going to laugh at you. You bought a Chinese machine. They don't care. Like, you got what you paid for. Like, you're not hurting that.
The reviews before you bought it.
Yeah, you're not hurting that company, right? That company's not selling on their reputation. No Chinese company out there sells on their reputation. Not one of them's like, check out our reviews. They're great. We're proudly made in China. Right? Nobody says that. Right? They always are like, well, look how much cheaper we are. We can save you this much money. Why would you spend more? It's always price sensitive sales. They don't look at it as like, we're going to be there for life. If you need us, we're going to back it. Our reputation's there. We've been there for 23 years. We give you free lifetime support. We give you training. None of them do that. Nope. It's always like, look how cheap it is.
That's it.
That's what they do. So when I look at it, people like that, they don't care about you long term. And so you as a business, as you're selling to your consumer, don't try to compete against those cheap products. You got to sell on what you need to do to keep your business going. Yeah, you might not win every single deal. That's okay. Those customers end up shopping again, and they are the customers that feed your business in the future.
Yep.
It's okay to lose a deal once in a while when it's not the right deal for the company. Giving up just because you want to give up isn't a good plan either. You need to work for it. But, my point is there's some deals that just aren't winnable, right? They're not feasible to your business. And, my guys don't work for free. I always remind people that. Every call they take costs us money, right? It doesn't cost you money. It costs us money. Because our guys are doing the support and doing that, and they're making it so you can get back up and running and you can keep making money. All while we're spending the money that we need to spend to keep you moving forward.
I think we got some pretty good tech support guys, too.
Yeah, do we not?
Right.
Our tech guys are pretty dang good.
Oh, the best, for sure.
I mean, we get calls from other customers, asking for help because they can't get through the problem. Like, that's how good our tech support guys are. I saw reviews online. Your guys' support's really good. I know I don't own a ShopSabre, but I might in the future. But is there any way you can help me troubleshoot this? No. No. That's not what we do here. Or, I love your machine, but I decided to put on this aftermarket option. But, it's a really good option. You guys should still support me. No. It's not my job to help other companies sell product. That's not what it is. I build machines a certain way, and I develop them the way I do, and it goes back to our warranty and support topic from last week. I do things because of the engineering and the stuff that we go into it, and that's why I support it. That's why I give you a warranty. If you want to risk that, that's the stuff you're risking by buying cheap machines or buying hugely discounted, right? Things that's 50% off this month. Why? It's in stock. How? Like, how is something in stock right? I can't get parts, and you're telling me they have a whole machine sitting in stock?
No.
Somebody didn't want it.
Yeah, especially this time of the year for sure.
Yeah. So let's discuss structure for a second. A lot of companies provide their sales reps with a commission to sell a machine, right? This means that you spend $1 and maybe 10 to 20 cents of that dollar goes to that sales guy's efforts, not the product you're buying. So essentially you pay for the sales rep to sell you the product. Does that make sense? You're paying their employee to do the job for you.
Exactly.
That seems kind of backwards, doesn't it?
A little bit.
So, some companies are higher, some are lower in averages, as far as what they're paying the sales guy. But let's just assume 10 to 20% is pretty average on most commissions for most products around the world, right? Well, you have to think about that. Are you getting the same level of product when you pay the same, similar price for those two products? No. Because a company that's not giving commission to their sales guy is giving you more product for your money because you're not paying for their employee. And therefore, you get less product from these companies, and you have that's the incentive for the sales guy, the commission-driven sales guy to sell you something, is it not? Because he makes more money the more you spend.
Yep.
So if I'm going to spend $1, I make 10 cents. But if I'm going to get $2 sale, I'm going to make 20 cents. So why would I not want you to spend $70,000? Right? I'm going to make more money. I don't care if it's right for you or not, but you need every option I can sell, right? That's what commissions does to people. That's where that 80s car salesman comes in, is it not?
Yep.
Buy all that stuff because they make more money. And that's where a lot of car dealerships have tried to overcome that in the last 10 years. They've gone to the no haggle pricing, the one price, the one low price, the price on the sticker, isn't that, what was it? The price on the sticker or the price on the windshield is the one that you pay, or wasn't that?
Yeah, I figured all that.
Remember the sales slogan? Like, there's so many of them. Like, they're trying to get people out of that mindset that you're going to have to haggle. You just walk in, there's a price. That's what you're going to pay for that product. And it's really the way the new world is working because, again, there's so much transparency and so many things on the internet that there's no point in us haggling over price anymore. Like, we know what the market will bear. We know what everybody's pretty much offering and what it costs us. Like, nobody is slashing their prices amazingly. Like, wow, this product is 30 grand cheaper than everybody else. Like, no, nobody's doing that. If they are, you're getting something that's shit. I'm sorry. Right. I'll just say it.
Manufacturing's expensive these
It
days.
is. Yeah, especially nowadays. Prices went up on all material, but yeah, magically they slashed their prices 35%. Something doesn't check out here. But yeah, you have to think about that. The sales rep has an incentive to drive business to the company that you're buying from. Do they not? Their benefit is they get the benefit of you buying and you get a product. So that said, many times companies give the sales rep the control of pricing. So when you enter into an agreement with them, or when you look at greed, right? Greed gets entered into that equation. The company might say, our price is $10, but you get 10 to 20% of that if you sell that. But you can factor in your percentage, right? So, okay, the price is $10. I'm going to make $2 potentially on this, right? So I can sell it for as cheap as $8, but I can get $2 if I sell it at full price. So I'm going to start at full price, right? See if I can get the guy to bite off, right? And then, okay, they're starting to push back a little bit. So, to close the deal, I might take $1 out of it, right? That their whole goal is to make you stop asking questions, right? They want you to just sign the paperwork, look at the deal. Or you go to them and say, well, I looked at so-and-so's product, right? I looked at ShopSabre. Oh, yeah, magically, the price just dropped again, right? Because you mentioned our name, now magically the other sales guy dropped his price, right? It's because he's scared. He doesn't want to lose the deal, right? He throws the price in there. I think there's a lot of companies that do that. ShopSabre doesn't do that. Right, guys?
100%.
How many times have you guys dropped price because somebody mentioned somebody else's price?
Never.
Doesn't happen.
Never. My price is my price. Like, I still have the same low price. Cool, you're looking at so-and-so. Now I can at least tell you what makes us better. Doesn't change my price, but I can at least show you what you're getting differently.
Chad and I actually had that happen one time. A customer of mine I talked to, I quoted him. He called back in, acted like a new customer, got the same quote from Chad, and was like, same price.
Yep.
We just proved it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. A commission-driven sales guy, is he probably more willing to bend the truth for their financial gain?
Absolutely.
Right? There's a commission on the line. Are you willing to say things to make, somebody feel good or, so they make more money? Absolutely. He's going to tell you, I'm going to be there forever. If you need something, you just let me know what you need. Until he gets to the next sales guy, the next sale that he's trying to work on, and he tells the same thing to the next guy and the same thing to the next guy. And eventually sold 1,000 machines, and there's still only one of him. He can't be at all 1,000 people at one time. Somebody loses out, right? That's why you buy from the factory. You have factory support, people who actually don't give a crap about the money, right? Tech support guys here, I guess ShopSabre says, like, our guys don't care how much you spent. Their job is to take care of you. Yep. They're paid to take care of you. The sales guys that are commission driven have a little bit more incentive to mislead people, right? They're a little bit more disingenuous. But, some sales reps are okay making 5 to 10% instead of 10 to 20%, right? So therefore, depending on which sales guy you get, you might get a better deal. As you just said, Travis, people have tried it with us, but they see the same deal back and forth, right? If you quote the same thing head to head, you're going to get the same price. It doesn't matter which sales guy you talk to.
Yep.
You have to think about that in your business too. As you're driving sales this time of year, like, are your sales structured so that way your sales team is representing your product and your business correctly? Because customers don't want that feeling that they're leaving stuff on the table. And then sometimes you might get a rep that's willing to throw in more discounts. Some will start at full price and work their way down until you bite, right? And once you push back, maybe they drop the price. Like, you don't want to be that company. Nobody likes to deal with that. To me, that's it. That is I'm struggling there. That is the traditional old school way of selling, right? That is the thing that you were talking about, Chad.
Let me take the paperwork and talk to my manager.
Yeah, let me go work on that for you.
Yeah, wait right here.
And then they go in the office, they both talk about how the Vikings played really good on the weekend, and then they come back out, and then the guy tells you, magically, that truck's cheaper. Like, wow, the truck's cheaper now. No, they didn't talk about it. They sat in that glass office and pointed at you.
Yeah.
We all know that glass office at the car dealership, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the glass. It's always a glass office. It's always. Let's stand there and stare at him so we can watch him squirm in his seat as he thinks we're talking about something that's important, but we really don't care. They go in that office, they don't give two craps.
Yep.
Right? I'm not saying everybody's that way, but I'm just saying. My point is there's a lot of people that believe that's what's going on in the world of sales, and it's not. Like, if you look at, like, the first thing I always ask any company when I buy anything, and this is me, I always ask, are you commission paid? I want to know that right out of the gate, because it determines how I'm going to act next.
Yep.
If you tell me you're commission paid, I'm going to be a little bit more reserved, because you have a financial gain over my decision. I need to understand, where's your motivation for helping me? If you tell me no, I now know that, okay, I may not get the same level of service either, right? The guy might not care if I buy or not, but I know he's probably going to be honest with me. He's just going to tell me, take it or leave it, right? He doesn't care, because if I don't buy from him, he's still gonna get paid on Friday. Opinions on that? You guys, feelings on that? What's your feedback?
It's like walking into Best Buy. I don't think those guys are paid on commission because they sure don't want to help you. There's a whole lot of them. Nobody wants to help you.
It's like a wasteland.
You start walking their direction and they just take off running.
I didn't know that was going to go that direction.
Yeah,
everyone agreed.
Yeah. Oh man, you're like, hey sir, I need help getting the TV down. Sir.
I see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words. I'm deaf.
No, it legitimately happened to me at Best Buy last year when we were setting up our home offices. We were all trying to get the same stuff we got here at the office here, and I was mimicking it, and I just wanted help. Like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I went to 3 different people at Best Buy, and they all were running from me. I was like, well, I just went to the parts desk, and I was like, can you find this for me? They're like, yeah, they're in back. I was like, well, that's why I couldn't find them. But all your people don't want to help me.
Travis is used to people running from him.
Well, you get to some of those big places like that, and it seems to, like, they have an abundance of people, but just nobody wants to really talk to you.
Yeah, somebody else will deal with it, right?
Yep.
Somebody else will take care of them.
Yep.
Yeah, for me as a consumer, I want the best price I can always get, no doubt. Like, I know there's one low price though, and I don't want to waste my time trying to haggle and negotiate, go back and forth. As somebody who spends a lot of time at business and doing business, like, I don't have the time in my personal life to screw around with pricing. Like, I just give me the best price you can do it. I'll make a decision, right? If I can afford it, we move forward. If I can't afford it, I'm going to tell you that I can't afford it and see how you react with that, right? And I'm going to be honest. If you start dropping your price with the discounts, I know you were probably screwing me up front. Like, I don't usually like that feeling. And I'm going to ask questions about that. Like, had I just bought, you were just going to take all that profit? Like, I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, I want to know why you magically could drop the price there, But I also, one thing that, when a sales rep tells me that they can remove costs for modification, that's a different thing, right? Hey, that price is just too much, man. I can't afford. Okay, hey, hold on a second. I got a different model. Like, it's not the same one. Now, okay, he's being consultative with me. It's not what he presented the first time. Now I'm going to ask, okay, what's the differences? Maybe I decide that, I'm not willing to give up what the differences are, right? But maybe I look at it as like, hey, that's a viable option. Like, yeah. I don't really care about that feature, right? I don't need the platinum truck, right? I can go with the XLT. I don't care. Having the massaging chairs wasn't important to me. Like, certain things don't matter. Some things do matter. Like, I need the car to have a steering wheel. Like, I'm not willing to give that up. But, there are certain things that you have to think about. Give me your best price and I'll make a decision. As I mentioned before, it's the ability to do things to help me understand the product means more to me than just throwing money at me, right? Don't just start dropping your price on me. It feels dirty. I don't like it. It's a game at that point. It's the best negotiator wins, and ultimately you always start to wonder, did I leave money on the table? Did somebody else get a better deal? It becomes the Wild West. And for my business here, ShopSabre, I feel like we're just too professional for that, right?
Oh, for sure.
Nobody has time for that. You guys don't have time for it either.
Yep.
To sit there and screw around with pricing and, I got to haggle with this guy and do that. Like, is that a fun thing for you guys to deal with either? Like having to negotiate pricing?
I don't deal with it, and it wouldn't be fun.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. If somebody comes to you and asks you to start haggling with, like,
I gave you my best price up front.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's the honest truth, though. Is you don't have to, because I guess I've never put you in that position. But, Chad, did you ever deal with it in the car industry when you worked as a service advisor?
Not in service, really. We had different levels, like the good, best, better. Where you could add. If someone said, "Oh, this is too much," you could go down to maybe a cheaper brake pad or a cheaper belt or whatever it is to offer to maybe get in their price range. But there was no
Yeah. You know what blows me away? I think about it from the car industry when I was in it. It's one of the few industries that people don't try to haggle with you. Like, you tell them, like, your brakes are shot. You need brakes on your car. It's $7.99, right? Or whatever it is. Nobody's like, well, Ford across the street said they'll do it for $6.99. Like, they just don't do that.
Yeah.
But they do it. But people do it in everything else in the world. Everything else. Well, so-and-so will sell me the truck for $10,000 cheaper. Okay, send me the quote. I want to see it. Well, they won't put it in writing because they won't sell it cheaper. Right. That's why. But, it's something I've noticed, especially in our world. People try to compare apples to oranges, right? Yeah. So-and-so's machine is $10,000 cheaper than yours. Can you send me the quote? Well, I'm not really comfortable with that. Okay, block out the pricing because you already told me it's $10,000 cheaper. I don't care. Just show me what they're quoting you. They send it over. Oh, yeah, well, they didn't quote you a tool changer. But still a CNC router? Oh, that's how we're going to look at this.
There's no vacuum.
Yeah,
there's no dust collector.
Something's different. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're apples to oranges. Yeah, I expect them to be cheaper.
Yep.
Sometimes I get quotes and I'm like, how the heck are they only that much cheaper? I wonder why they are that way cheaper. It's something you have to think about. The altercation side of it, that's something that kind of comes from that negotiation thing that I try to avoid. I feel like when you get into negotiations, that's where most altercations come in. Because people feel like you're screwing them, right? Oh, you can do better. But in the world today, we see a lot of that in sales and deals and specials and marketing and all that. It's so easy to get sold on something and be misled. And I think it frustrates people. And so I think, as a business owner, if you're listening to this, it's important to think about that in your business. Like, you're making it more stressful on your employee potentially by not giving a straightforward and upfront price point, If it's straightforward, your customer has no gray area. Your employee has no gray area. You know what you can afford to do. And it saves you the stress. Like, as a business owner, you're not sitting there having to go back and forth and do the number. Like, you should know your numbers and know where your profit margin is and just go through it, right?
And I never, personally in sales, I never have to worry about getting backed in a corner. A customer will be like, say something. I've got an answer. I'm never going to lie to you. I'm never going to mislead you. Some of these other guys can.
It's a lot easier to repeat your answer 3 days later when the answer was based on the truth, was it not?
Exactly.
Selling
the facts.
Yeah, a lot of guys, if they're not selling the facts or maybe twisting the truth, their story might change down the road because they don't remember what they told you.
Yep.
And that's the truth, and I don't want that either. Like, it's so easy for me to defend our product because I know what you guys are saying.
Yep.
Because we all say the same thing. We all do it the same way because there's a process. It's structured, right? It's a better reputation for the company, and I hear it from customers. I see it in the industry, and I see it at stores. You hear it from people that operate in their regular day-to-day life that, there's a lot of people out there that are willing to bend the truth a little bit just for their own financial gain. I see it, like, even in today's world, like, I see how hostile some people are getting in the stores. I was out shopping and, I just feel like you see people going off and losing. Like, I saw a lady going off on a sales rep at a furniture store when I was, just in there talking to him. And, she had to pay delivery. She was super mad that she had to pay delivery. And he explained to her that, well, I've given you 30% off, as Chad, alluded to, and 0% interest for the next 2 years.
Mine was only a year. I wonder where this was at.
I don't remember if it was 1 year or 2 years. Fair enough.
That was awesome, Chad. Yeah, I knew exactly what you're doing.
You got a better deal there, Chad, than me.
Son of a...
Yeah, no, but I don't remember the exact terms of the deal, but yeah, it was the 30% off and the 0% for so long. And he goes, I can't offer you shipping too. I remember him saying that definitively. Like, I was sitting there like checking out. I was buying a bar stool for the record. My son decided to play hockey in my basement and broke the bar stool. So I had to replace one of them. And yeah, anyways, I was checking out and I heard him say this to her. He's like, I can't give you more discounts. I can't give you more shit. I can't give you shipping for free. That's what he said. And he goes, or I can give you shipping for free, but I can't give you 0% interest. And she's like, well, then you're taking advantage of me. And I was like, is this lady for real right now? Like, I was like watching this happen. I'm like, no, he's making it clear. Like, you pick. What do you want? You know? And, you know, in the end, was he taking advantage of her? I don't know. And I don't know what his pricing structure looks like, right? But more than likely, he was maxed out on his margin, right? He knew he couldn't make any money if he sold that. Yep. So sometimes you can't have everything. You know, a company cannot sell everything to you for nothing, or why would they sell it to you, right?
Correct.
I think people lose sight of that sometimes with the interest stuff in today's world. It's called subsidizing. Like, they see a price, right? You see it with Ford, right? Ford pricing, right? They say you can get 0% interest for 24 months, or we can give you a $5,000 discount.
That happened with that lawnmower we looked at.
Yeah, the lawnmower. Exactly.
It's like $3,500, or if you want to finance it, it's $5,100.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, if you want to finance it, I can sell it to you for $3,100. If you don't finance it, then I can. No, it was the other way. I can sell if you finance it with 0% interest. I can sell it for $5,100. But if you want to pay cash for it, I'll sell it to you for $3,700.
Yep.
And we were like, it's the same price. Like, I'm just paying the interest. You know, that's the difference. Is like, I'm paying the interest up front, or I'm not. You know, and it's like, yeah, so 0% interest at $5,100 is no different than what it was to pay cash at $37. And I called the guy. Did I not? I called him out on it. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, you're 100% right. I'm buying the rate down. Like, he admitted to it. He's like, in the day's world, like, some people can't afford the rate, so I buy it down for them. And I'm like, I'm smart enough to catch it, right? I caught it right on the spot. Like, no. But how many people, they see it as a sale, right? Yep. But they want then the people come back, well, no, I want the $3,700 at 0% interest. So you really want me to sell it to you for $2,500, you know? Like, that's what you're telling me, because I have to buy the interest down. And like, no, it's not feasible. So in today's world, consumers don't always understand how the deals are coming about. And they just assume you're getting taken advantage of. They don't understand that, like, there's a profit margin. Everybody works within it, right? So as a business owner, as you hear this, don't let people drive you to be unprofitable. Don't let people drive you out of business. You know, don't sell out because someone thinks they know how to run your business better than you do. Don't let them use we've been in business for 400 years and this is how we do it. Well, that's okay. They're not doing what you do. They don't run your business. They're maybe not operating in your industry, right? They don't know what your margins are. They don't know your overhead. You have to keep your business in mind, not theirs. So business owners, as you're listening, like, look for ways to save money so you can afford to get those discounts. That's where the CNC machines come in. That's where automation comes in. Take the labor out of it. Become more profitable. Hiring a $30 an hour employee or buying a machine that's going to cost you $8 an hour, which one's the better buy? Yeah, the machine costs you more money up front, but the long-term play is after 5 years of ownership, you've paid $8 an hour for 5 years, and now it paid itself off and you never pay another dollar to it. That $30 an hour employee, hopefully they're here in 5 years still, and you're not having to replace them. But if they are, they're probably a $40 an hour employee by that point. Like, you have to start thinking about your long-term play and how you're going to get aggressive with your customers. And it's automation. It's becoming smarter with your financial decisions. And that's where I thought today's episode, talking about pricing and structure, really makes a difference. Your guys' opinion on that stuff?
I think it was definitely worth talking about. It's a real thing we deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you see in business. It's something people talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and, you know, like I said, it's the year end. It's time to make some deals. Be smart about it, but be ready to make decisions this time of year because really time's running out. Right? You don't have January. You know, year-end pricing doesn't go into January. Most companies are going to lose their tax advantages and their reasons for discounting. Most people are trying to sell something before the end of the year because it's going to get something off their shelf or out of inventory, which lowers their tax burden. Additionally, you have tax advantages you can take advantage of. You should expect some sort of pricing change January 1st. The reality is the world was expensive this year. Things are probably going to cost more money next year, unfortunately. I'd hate to say it, but I think we're still a year or two out before we're going to start seeing prices start to drop again. So at the end of the year, right now is the best time of year to buy something. You know, you're going to see the best pricing because there's going to be affordable financing out there. There's deferred payments. There's no payment options. And you have Section 179 you need to be thinking about. Talk to your CPA. If you haven't done it yet, call them and find out what your financial costs are going to be on this. $8 an hour on average, sometimes less. I did one this morning for a customer. It was running the numbers, and it was like $5.47 an hour. It's pretty dang cheap.
Yeah, it's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Can't hire people for that today.
No.
Not anybody who's going to be capable of doing anything at that price,
Right.
So, you got to think about that. I hired Travis. At that price.
Minimum wage.
Yeah, minimum wage.
$7.25.
$7.25 is what I hired him at.
Still getting paid it.
Yeah, don't tell him. Don't tell him it went
Wait,
up.
you guys are making more than $7.25 an hour?
Nope, Travis. We're all making the same. No, but it's something to think about. Like, it is something you got to think about. Is where's that money going? Your sales guy's pocket or your pocket? Start thinking about that when you look at these sales, and be careful. People advertise discounts differently, right? Oh, you're getting 10% off the machine because 10% sounds cool. You're getting 15% off the machine because it sounds good, right? But it doesn't mean it's the best deal out there, right? When you actually add up where that discount's coming out of, you're saving less money a lot of times than some of these other companies out there. People are giving discounts that they sound better on paper than they actually calculate out to be. The discounts, being competitive. Yeah, sometimes people say that, like, oh, you know what? We're only a few $1,000s different, right? They're only $2,000 cheaper than you. Like, can you match them? No, because I've already given you a pretty good discount to get us to within $2,000. Yep. Like, we shouldn't be $2,000 different. We should be $13,000 different, right? Yep. We should be $15,000 different. But I've gotten you to that point. Like an IS machine right now, there's a pretty good discount on IS tables. You get to the price to compete against these lesser machines because of these discounts. I can't beat their price, but I've got you to a point where we're at least having a conversation. You got to think about the value there, So same thing as a cabinet maker, business owner out there, whatever. Think about how you're discounting. Think about what you're doing. A lot of times you got to sell that value, right? Your cabinets are much better. They're hardwood cabinets versus store-bought cabinets. Well, yeah, we're $2,000 more, but I gave you some discounts that got us within $2,000. You want custom-built cabinets for your house, or you want to go buy store-bought cabinets for almost the same price? We both know the answer to that. I don't want to rely on Lowe's or Home Depot for my support on my cabinets later on. I want to be able to call Craig up and have Craig take care of me. It's that warm feeling, you know who you dealt with.
Yep.
You have to sell on that. So guys listening to this, gals listening to this, like I said, this time of year is the time for you to make decisions to give yourself an advantage next year. Start adding equipment, start doing things, but be smart with your business. Don't let your competitor run you out of business. Do things that are going to be smart for you. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Should we move forward?
Move forward.
Let's go. I think it's time to get back and get on those phones because I hear them ringing out there. So
they're already calling us.
They're already
calling. They don't even know that this podcast is out yet, but they're calling us.
They don't even hear it yet, but they already know. Right, Kyle?
Correct.
Right. All right. Well, with that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
I'm Travis.
I'm Kyle.
Thanks for talking shop to ShopSabre.